And hello, folks. You are live with the Pixel Bandits podcast number 2. We're trying out a little bit of new technology now, and we're going with Google Hangout videos, which are going straight to our YouTube. So it could be a little funky, but hold on. We're all getting there, and hopefully this will be a nice way for you to see us and interact with us as we go along. So I'm John. I'm Pixel Bandit, Bandit leader, as I'm starting now to be called on Elite Dangerous, and well, I'm John, really. Hi. I shall hand you over to Keiran.
Yes, I am Pixel Dragon, and, well, my name is actually Keiran. And, yeah, that's pretty much me. If you did indeed listen to the first podcast, you'd know all about me. And there's Craig.
Hello, that'll be me. I don't have a cool Pixel nickname, unfortunately, but I go by the online handle of Mr. Craigie. And yeah, I was also a part of the last podcast, which was a lot of fun, and I like giant robots.
Yeah, we covered Craig's love of giant robots quite well in the last one, I think. So I mean, that's us. The Pixel Squad will change a little bit throughout the podcasts, but hopefully we'll keep, we won't change too much. Like your favourite football team, if you like watching footballers score a basket or whatever it's called. I don't know.
They sportsed harder than the other team sportsed.
Yes, they sports good. We'll move on straight into our news of the week. There hasn't been a great deal of news this week. The one thing, and if you did listen to the last podcast, you'll know that I told you so, is that the Final Fantasy VII, the lovely folks at Squeenix, specifically Tetsuya Nomura, has stated that although he wants the ethos surrounding Final Fantasy VII, the remake for PS4, to remain the same, there will be drastic changes. Not to just the graphics, unfortunately, but also to the storyline and to the gameplay, the mechanics, the battle system. So, I mean, we all know already how I felt about this, but Craig, I can hear you growling in the background.
No, this is true. Yeah, but can I just take a step back and just say, like, what was what's the production guy's name?
Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah, I just want to say that's a really good pronunciation you got there. Really appreciating that.
I think it is. I'm not really that good with the old. I believe he's Japanese. It's a Japanese company, isn't it?
Yes.
Name. But yeah, Tetsuya Nomura, I think.
Tetsuya Nomura. That's his name. You did good on that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But Craig, I heard you growling.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy VII was like the first introduction I had to the PlayStation. I never owned an original PlayStation, and I would always play on my friends whenever I went to visit them at their house. And it was kind of our thing. We'd like work on it together. We'd do like a fight each, swap in, swap out. And it was just this big sort of iconic introduction into what then was the new generation of gaming. And to know that sort of staple, that milestone of gaming has now been confirmed, that we're bringing it back, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be how you remember it.
That's the problem I've got.
Go on, mate. Go on now. After you.
It really annoys me. And growing up with the PlayStation 1, going through the generation from Crash Bandicoot all the way through to Spyro, and I loved those games. When you're sort of like 8, 9, 10 years old, those are the best games on the planet. And then you hit the age of 12 and you go, oh my god, I can play these new games. And it was like Final Fantasy VII captured me for more than one reason. That was the story, the whole new gameplay aspect. I've never played anything like it at the time. And the fact that it was so deep, you could play it and then sort of get sucked into the world. And now, I've watched Advent Children. I love that film. But for them to go and say, basically, we're taking Advent Children and sticking it in a game, which is essentially what they're doing, is a big killer for me. And it's there's fundamental gameplay and storyline things in the original that you will now never be able to experience without playing the original game. And it's sort of going to take away big time from the experience for all new gamers and people that knew the classic, played the classic, loved it.
Yeah.
So they've made a big mistake, and I hope they learn that they have, and maybe introduce a mode where you can play or even download a version of a classic updated version. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for the now somewhat inevitable, if it goes anywhere near what most games are, the inevitable Aeris pack, where for £15 you can download DLC, which means that Aeris lives.
No.
Or Aerith, as they will call her, because...
No.
Yeah.
I would honestly, I cried the first time. I will cry harder if they release a DLC. Like, more tears of manliness will be shed.
Very manly tears, obviously.
Now, let's be honest. Was this a case of you cried because it was a genuinely heartbreaking, emotional moment for little teenage Keiran, or did you cry because you'd wasted hours leveling her up?
That is a good point, actually. I think it's a bit of both. You almost become attached to the character because you've spent so much time leveling them up, but then it's sort of the thing that, oh no, the story sort of like revolved around her, and now she's gone. And how do you cope with that situation? You just don't. It's like you have to cry.
I had a similar problem. I was playing a Dragon Ball Z sort of RPG, Attack of the Saiyans, I think it's called, on the Nintendo DS.
Yep.
And so I was playing through it, doing really well. I was like, oh, fantastic! This game's a lot of fun. Really. Stuck true to like the Dragon Ball mythos, if you will, and it got to the point where, and I'm sorry, spoiler warning for anyone that's not seen Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. Firstly, where have you been for the last 20 years? Secondly, apologies, spoilers incoming. I spent a lot of time with Yamcha as my strongest character in the party, not making the connection that the last fight was going to be against Raditz and Vegeta and Nappa, where Yamcha gets brutally murdered.
In the worst possible way.
So yeah, it was Aeris all over again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Konami don't. Sorry, Konami, Square Enix. That's later. Correct yourself. Enix don't go DLC and go, yeah, you can have your original Cloud Buster Sword, and you can have a Sephiroth playable character, and you can have this. I will actually want to give up on every Final Fantasy I have ever played ever.
Yeah, I think we've got to say the old ones. I mean, me and you both, while we were waiting to record and stream our podcast, me and Keiran were both playing Final Fantasy in our own little. I was playing original Final Fantasy disc on a PS1 console, which I've just been given and given it a bit of a clean and got it all working lovely.
Nice.
And you were playing a download, I believe.
It was a download of the original game on my PlayStation TV, so it's all original graphics and sounds and stuff. But yeah,
I mean, Final Fantasy VII did something that. I mean, especially now, you don't really get with films or with TV, which is that it gave you this main character, and say if you were watching a film and you had, I don't know, let's say Kevin Bacon, because he's an awesome actor and everyone loves Kevin Bacon. He's playing this lead character, and about half an hour into the film, he gets brutally murdered in some way, or he gets thrown off the side of a boat or something into the sea and people sail off. You're going to spend the next hour to an hour and a half going, when's Kevin Bacon coming back? Kevin Bacon was awesome. He's a main character. Yeah. When's he coming back? And I won't say one film that did something like that recently, because it would be a bit of a spoiler. It was a decent film, but I won't tell you what it was. But it's the only one that I've seen recently that has done it, where it's just taken a main character and just gone, no, they're dead.
Insta-kill.
No, you're not having them back. They're not coming back.
Ever.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
But yeah, even Red Dwarf, they brought Rimmer back. They brought Kachansky back. They brought everyone back in Series 8, for God's sake. You just don't get it, and it's... I don't know.
It's the point of almost finality, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
You like you say, you get attached, and then all of a sudden ripped in its heartstrings, and you go, no, how do I going to live? But then you sort of, the thing is, like you say, there's that finality which then pulls the story together almost. And
exactly, yes.
You sort of see a progression in the character's emotions. Like Cloud himself starts off as a fairly reasonable person, obviously in his own sort of weird way. And
I don't know, he's got those weird sort of Popeye arms going on.
All right, okay. Well, avoid the Popeye arms and the slightly strange legs.
He's fairly well balanced.
He's a fairly well balanced character overall, emotionally, and he gets attached to one character, he loves her, and then all of a sudden that's it. And then it's almost like he goes nuts in his head.
He does. He has a mental breakdown. He has a full-on mental breakdown.
Exactly. He goes completely nuts, and you see what would have been possibly a really nice final stage of a game turn into something really dark, and I liked that. The character progression was amazing, and they've ruined it with the new one if they're going to go down the Advent Children road, which I loved. I love that film.
I did love Advent Children. Advent Children is a good film. I think it's important to know that we're not knocking Advent Children as a film, but it's not Final Fantasy VII the game.
No, it's fun.
At least we can agree it was infinitely better than Spirits Within.
Yes, I'm with you, Craig.
No. Spirits Within was a brilliant film.
It wasn't Final Fantasy, though.
It wasn't Final Fantasy technically, but what makes Final Fantasy?
I think it's the fact that it is
all
weird.
Different worlds. It's all different storylines.
It's all.
It didn't have any battles in there, which was kind of the main thing I think that separated it. But I think the reason that Spirits Within, and I'll argue for it, I as a movie liked it. As Final Fantasy film, maybe not so much. But I think it got such a negative reception was because they went, "Hey, we're making a Final Fantasy film," and everyone went, "Oh!" And they went, "It's not Final Fantasy VII,"
Yeah.
and everyone went.
Sad face.
I'm not using the words, but they said it. They said it loud.
It's very loud.
Then they realised, like, oh, actually, yeah, we're really sorry. So about that Final Fantasy VII movie, we're going to do that.
I'd heard bits about Advent Children, and I'd kind of been out of the loop for a little while. And then I was walking through HMV in Worcester, and HMV, I think I was just using it as a shortcut. Because you can shortcut from one area of Worcester to another through HMV, but I wouldn't say to use it as a shortcut. It's a very nice store.
No, it's not. No.
But I was got to the exit. I caught a flash about 3 seconds.
Oh, that's in. That's
Sephiroth.
There we go.
What? So I went back in, and yeah, it was released not on Blu-ray at the time, but on DVD, and I purchased it, and I think I watched it about 5 times on repeat that night.
That's tame. That's a tame number of repeats there, my good man.
Well, I don't know. It would have been about 5 in one night. I think I got home at about 5 o'clock, and I continued to watch it until I went to sleep, just going, "This is amazing."
See, because I bought it on my PSP as a UMD film.
Oh, okay.
Which was the original version before they released.
UMD.
I even have some of those. But I bought that as a UMD film, and I watched that possibly every night for maybe 5 or 6 weeks, continuously.
Yeah.
And then they released the complete edition, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to have the complete edition." So I bought the complete edition, and it's sort of what you don't see in the original. It really patches it together, and it's worth buying because you get bits in there that you didn't know about the characters themselves, and it's like, yes, this pins everything together. So if you do see it on Blu-ray, the complete edition for, I don't know, a tenner, it's worth it, and it will help you try and understand the whole where Cloud began in the game to what he became to where he ended up at the end, and then to what he then becomes. It sort of patches the whole story together. It's really nice, really clever. But
I mean, as gaming stories go, and I think we can all agree that stories are a massively important part of gaming.
Yeah.
As gaming stories go, has there been a better story than Final Fantasy VII? There are some contenders lately, maybe. Naughty Dog have done 1 or 2.
If I was going to say to equal, not as a content but as to equal, then stuff like Uncharted would definitely be up there, but I don't think it's as deep as. You've got that great character development, you've got the story, you understand why the characters do what they do, and that's what makes that game amazing story-wise. And they always continue on from each other. So I can't wait to touch 4 and see what happens in Uncharted 4. But that's different conversation. We covered that one.
Yeah.
But I can't think of another game that goes up against Final Fantasy's story.
Just for the record, I still haven't played an Uncharted game.
They are good. They are good. I'd say give them a go.
I said I would, but I haven't.
It's wonderful.
I think you need to get out of here.
All right.
They're worth, if you find them. They're doing actually a collection, I believe, on PS4 at some later date. It's unconfirmed, 1 to 3. So when you do pick up your PS4,
no, I saw that earlier today. They've it's called the Nathan Drake collection.
Yes.
They've released what's coming out with the collector's edition, so like the Steelbook edition, and it's got like a really cool art book and other funky things. Yeah, that was announced earlier today, so you need to check that out, Keiran.
I will go and check that out when I have time. Anyway, should we move on?
Yes.
I think we've fanboyed enough about Final Fantasy.
Well, fanboyed and in some respects anti-fanboyed, but
big time.
Yeah. Definitely. What was next on the list?
I don't know. You had the list.
I did. I had the list.
I believe we were calling out Konami on their
possibly evil gaming companies.
Evil gaming companies. There are lots of them.
Just twiddly mustaches aplenty.
Yeah. Well, Konami. What's happening?
Do you mind if I start this one off?
Please go.
Because, right, long has been my relationship with Konami games. I love the Metal Gear franchise, I love Silent Hill, and I got ridiculously excited about Silent Hills.
Yes.
Oh, the PT, the demo.
Yes. PT, the playable trailer, or playable teaser, I think it stood for,
Yep.
it was so good. And obviously then it panned out into the big reveal, turn around, oh, it's Norman Reedus, yay, and then Silent Hills. That sounded really sarcastic. I was actually quite excited about Norman Reedus. I think he's actually a pretty decent actor.
Well, he's such a good actor that they're now putting him into the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, are they not?
I believe so, yes. Because, you need fantastic acting to be drawn.
One quick note before you move on there, just in case we didn't know, somebody has recreated pretty much shot for shot the PT demo, and it is available to play online.
I did know this. Yeah, it's under a different name, and it's slightly different because they're looking at expanding onto it into a full game.
That'd be so good. I forget what they called it.
But no, we'll find out, and we'll stick it in the description underneath the video when it's actually a recording, not a live stream. So, sorry, you're just going to have to watch this all over again.
Whee.
That would get the view count up.
We've won this one. It'll be your mustache that does it.
But no, I love the Silent Hill franchise. I love the Metal Gear franchise, and Zone of Enders as well. I think awesome. It's an amazing Konami franchise that they've just done nothing with. And obviously, since the cancelling of Silent Hills and all of the recent news articles with Konami saying, no, we're going to be focusing on mobile games. Mobile games and app games are the future of gaming. Like, this started, I think it was after Homecoming, where the sales didn't do too well.
Yeah.
Now, I might have got the game wrong. It might be a different Silent Hill, but I think it was Homecoming, where basically they took the creative team from, what was Team Silent, and basically put them into the mobile development division.
I read that, and it was naff.
Yes. Well, they in 2010 they shifted and they had a mobile game called Dragon Collection.
Yes.
And basically, on a really low budget for it being a mobile game, they turned over a huge profit. And as a company, they thought, hey, this is good.
We'll do more of this.
I think the problem is, though, is because mobile gaming is a big platform. You can't deny it's a big platform. Phones, tablets, even handheld consoles, your DSs, they sell hugely in Japan, but it's because everybody has something they carry around with them.
Yes.
And you're always going to have an audience for said game. So I guess Nintendo have even said that they will release games on a mobile platform recently.
Yes.
That's disappointing. I am actually disappointed with that, but that's another time.
Nintendo have been disappointing me for many years.
Their DS platform has gone through so many iterations now, I don't know where it stands.
DS, now it's the
XL,
new 3DS.
New XL, small, light XL 3D, or something like that.
Yeah, but
I think like with Konami and I think their latest statement, they've said, "Oh, don't worry, we're still focusing on Metal Gear, and we are still working on Silent Hill games. Honest, don't leave us. Love us, please.
I think
we'll send Pyramid Head after you to give you cuddles."
No, don't send a Pyramid Head anywhere near us. We don't want to know.
The nurses, maybe, but
I'm not sure I want the nurses anywhere near me either. I might just hide in a closet.
It freaked me out.
Yeah.
I've started replaying Silent Hill 2 because it's arguably the best Silent Hill game, and it's just a case of it's still so good. But it's got that sort of taint of disappointment now because it's a case of PT and all the stuff they did with Silent Hills looked like it was just going back to perfect old school Silent Hill form. I was like, it could have been so good.
Well, because I couldn't play very much of PT because my trousers were a very different shade before I started. Let's just put it like that. But I'm with you, like the classic Silent Hill games. I think I've got Silent Hill 4 here, which isn't mine, it's my other half's. And
no, the room is actually surprisingly good. I will stand up for that game till the dying day.
Well, we played through it in pretty much one sitting, and we sort of chopped and changed who did what section. And honestly, some of the jump scares in that I couldn't sleep for days. It was ridiculous. And PT was much like that. It had that, oh my god, scare factor, and you don't know what's behind you or what's next to you.
Yeah.
And it was just the whole atmosphere of PT. And Silent Hills would have been possibly the best horror game, well, ever, as far as I'm concerned. Because it had, like you say, it had that potential to go on and be something amazing. And then it all it just fell apart.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's been falling apart. There's a Japanese economy newspaper, and again, I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's Nikkei, Nikkei, Nikkei.
It sounds like Nikki, but I'd imagine it was Nikkei.
Nikkei or Nikkei.
Nikkei.
Yeah.
Nikkei.
Nikkei. See, I was close enough. I thought it might be. But they've created a report on the current state of affairs within the publisher as a whole. So they've come across some things which are not even just in you could have made a great Silent Hill game, you didn't make it, you're awful, but in the fact that things like I've got a little list here in front of me. Kojima Productions, as it was, is now known as the number 8 production department. The computers there have no internet access and can only send messages between internal computers. It's not too bad.
Okay.
Employees that leave the office during their lunch break are monitored with time cards.
Right.
Again, not too awful. You get a lunch break, you
sounds
should
normal.
Be back on time. However, if they do return late, they have their names announced throughout the company. It starts getting slightly worse when there are cameras in the office corridors to monitor the movement of the employees.
Oh, God.
They don't have their own permanent, or most of the employees don't have their own permanent company email address. Some staff who deal with people regularly outside the companies, public relations and folks, they do, but everybody else's email is routinely randomized and changed every few months.
Wow.
Konami developers aren't seen as useful are reassigned duties such as security guards.
Oh, yeah, no, I read about this, yeah.
Clubs, or roles at the patchy slot machine factories. And that includes producers who worked on big titles. In 2013, Japanese newspaper Asahi News reported on a former Konami employee who allegedly went from development to working in a Konami patchy slot factory, which is a bit weird. And also, after announcing on Facebook that he was leaving for a new job, Konami monitored his social media and reshuffled anybody within their company who had liked his post that he was getting a new job.
Yeah, no, I read about this. That was an IGN article, isn't
it? This one is on Gematsu. It's on IGN. It's kind of going up.
Yeah, I think I read it on IGN earlier today.
The newspaper Nikkei has repeatedly reached out to the founder, Kajimasa Kazuyi, for comment, but he's Kazuki for comment, but they've never heard back. Apparently, he's known to avoid others, so it might not be a case of him avoiding this in particular. Is just his normal way of being. But he's apparently been very distant, whereas before he was quite chummy with Nintendo and Sega.
That sounds to me like he's got somewhere down the line he's had issues with trust, maybe, like the cameras, the emails.
Well, the emails apparently, on another article I read, there are a few companies who do that, and it's in order to stop headhunting. Because if you have an email that's randomized, you can't really put it on a CV or anything.
No.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
To get there, and you can't pass along your boss's email as a reference and things. So.
Yeah.
See, I can't actually imagine anything like that happening in like where I work, but then there's only 5 people in my office, so
could you
imagine? I think that's including the boss, so that's slightly different.
Anyway, Craig, have you got anything on? No, make us a cup of coffee, sweep the floor, come on.
Go on, Craig. It's been an hour since the last cuppa. Go on, just
sort it out.
But yeah, apparently Metal Gear: The Phantom Pain, the development budget, and I mean, speaking about trust, the whole Kojima thing has probably rocked the boat slightly. I understand that. He wants to make a good game. Everybody wants developers that want to make a good game, but he's pushing back deadlines, or has been allegedly pushing back deadlines, spending more money and more money and more money on this and this and this. And I mean, in some ways I can understand. If I was going to build an extension on my house and the wife said, right, okay, well, you've got a $5,000 budget to make the best geek cave that you can, and I made an amazing one, but just, we'd got to $5,000, and I was like, well, you know what, a PS4 would make this better. She'd say, well, yes, it would make it better, but we're going over budget. It's already good enough. We've got all the consoles we want. We've got gaming chairs. We've got a massive TV.
Yeah.
And then me just going, no, I need to have the creative freedom to have a PS4 in my game cave as well. But apparently they have spent 10 billion yen, which equates to roughly $80 million on Metal Gear Phantom Pain.
And that's just so Snake can ride on a horse.
And he's got a new arm.
Hopefully a new eye.
It's all nanomachines. Spoilers.
In Snake's just made entirely of nanomachines.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't know if that's true. It's probably not true.
Probably was true.
It might be. It might be.
If it's not true at the moment, but it is true, then Konami owe me some money. But seeing as
maybe they're monitoring us. Maybe they're monitoring our social media activity.
Possibly. We have mentioned Konami, so you never know. They might be paranoid. Konami might be paranoid enough to pop it up. But I mean, there have been some.
Enter the code.
There have been some wonderful, wonderful Konami games over the years. Sports titles and everything. Well, Metal Gear.
Up, down, left, right.
left, right, BA. Is it B? Oh, I think it's BA.
It's BA Start, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. I've got it written on a loot crate here. I have. It's on the bottom. I can dig it out if you like.
Oh, there we are. Are we back at? Oh, hello.
Yes. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty.
Technical issues. I know I had a bit.
I just look like this normally.
But no, I think, like you say, there have been some fantastic titles. Silent Hill, Pro Evolution Soccer. I used to love that game.
ISS Pro. The other day I got International Superstar Soccer Pro, the forerunner to Pro Evo.
Yeah.
Are they Konami?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that. There we are. If we. Oh, it's a bit shiny, but International Superstar Soccer.
There it is.
Konami. There it is.
Yeah.
Up there, but yeah, they started out with, and I'm pretty sure are still going with ISS Pro.
Well,
so many ones.
It's pretty much all the big ones that you could ever think of from Konami have been great. The Metal Gear has been probably the most successful. So I can't say I've played them all. I have over the years played them all, but
I haven't
Let's not forget Contra.
Sorry?
Contra?
Let's not forget Contra.
Contra was pretty good.
I forgot about that. I'm going to have to go back and dig that out now.
Well, that's where the Konami code came from. That's what gave you like 99 lives.
It was the first one, wasn't it?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. We've not got all day, but we'll skip ahead, seeing as we've put the level select cheat in. Keiran's been doing a fair bit of integrating with his second favourite console, the Xbox One.
Second favourite, yes.
And Windows 10, which you've managed to get installed. I haven't moved on to it yet, but the integration you've said is going quite well.
It is. It's a funny transition, actually, from Windows 8 or 8.1, if you're running it, into what is essentially reskinned Windows 7. So you've got your start bar back, which is cool. All the tiles from 8 are in this start bar, but the most interesting part of this integration is Windows and Xbox. So if you have an Xbox One, it's connected to the same network. You have a decent spec laptop that has maybe at least 2 gigs video memory, 8 gigs RAM, doesn't matter about your hard drive space. You can stream Xbox One games over your network to your PC. Now this opens up a very interesting world of gaming, because you can be, I think, anywhere in the world as long as it's your console's on and you're connected to the internet. But I've tested it in-house, wireless and wired, through a power line kit, and I have to say I am very impressed. When I went wired, I was playing Call of Duty, 60 frames per second, absolutely flawless. There's a new party chat system through the app itself, which shows up on Xbox consoles, which is quite handy. So if you've got people on Xbox and they don't have a Windows 10 machine, they can jump straight in, chat, and interact with you and play games with you, no problem. I was playing with a friend of mine. He was on his console. I was upstairs on the PC. You need an Xbox controller, goes without saying. You can't play with the keyboard and mouse. This is just the way the system works. But overall, Windows 10 is worth every penny of free if you can do it. It's a fantastic operating system, and I don't say this very often about any Microsoft product ever. I fell out of love with Microsoft after Windows 7. This is really fresh, and it just feels like they've worked on it properly. It just works. It's fantastic. So, yeah, the integration is something that is a big selling point, and if you can do it, John, I recommend you do it, because you're obviously a big Xbox fan anyway.
Oh, I am a big Xbox fan.
You little fanboy, you.
Yeah, I am. I'll hold my hand up. Xbox fanboy right here. How is, speaking of Xbox fanboy and Xbox related things on Windows, how's Cortana?
Cortana is a very interesting assistant.
Is she good, or is she paperclip?
She's better than paperclip as long as you have a decent microphone. Now, I'm using a headset, obviously, and it struggled to pick me up. So you have to run through a setup process, which you witnessed, John. You speak to your headset this phrase, and it picks up your levels and then says, "Yep, okay, you're fine."
Ah, there's the Cortana button.
Yeah, so it's little. You have to set it up, and you sound like a bit of an idiot when you do. But once it works, it's actually very clever. You can search the system, you can search the internet, you can search your notes. If you have say a Windows phone, everything syncs crossways. So anything that was once on your phone is now on your PC. So you can just say, "Hey Cortana, search such and such," and it will search it.
Is there a risk that the AI will become corrupt and I'll have to go into a flood hive to get her back?
Yes, there is, and you will have to wear a full power armor set with an assault rifle. You'll have to be.
I'm actually okay with this. I'm actually more than okay with this.
Unfortunately, she will become completely corrupt and actually want to kill you, so it's fine.
That's fine. I'm used to girls wanting to kill me.
But yeah. Oh, you must walk down the street with a knife.
The one thing that I saw on there was kind of, as much as I loathe mentioning the name, kind of a bit of Siri functionality where you can say, "Cortana, will I need an umbrella tomorrow?"
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Especially with stuff like laptops. If you've got like a Windows 10 phablet almost, these new Fandango tablet laptop things.
A phablet?
Have you never heard the term phablet?
It's a mixture between a phone and a tablet. It's a massive phone or a small tablet.
Oh, I thought it was a fabulous tablet.
No,
I thought like you pushed a button and rainbows came out.
Unicorns and explosions and stuff.
Hold on, whoa, let's dial it back. Unicorns and explosions.
Who doesn't want exploding unicorns? Let's just put this into...
Probably the unicorns.
They're the ones...
Hey guys, what's going on? Nothing. I'm going to explode now. Please don't. What happened to Jeff? Look, he's on the wall.
Poor Jeff.
Poor Jeff. So all in all, Windows 10 actually not too bad.
It actually works, and I did test it. The preview builds. I was very surprised that when I've come to download the full version, it actually works. It's fantastic, and I don't say that about any Microsoft product. Like I said, if you have a lower spec machine as well, it works even better because it runs on a different specification again. So you don't need uber hardware to produce a decent quality experience. And
yeah, no, I can back that one up.
For games,
my
it's
laptop, yeah, my laptop is a few years old now. And she's on her last legs, bless her. But she's running Windows 10, no problems.
It's almost like a new lease of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's strange. I mean, my desktop is 5 years old. It started on Windows 7 Home Premium, I believe. And it went through 8. It ran 8 fine. And now it's on 10. And it's like, oh my god, this is so fast. It's zippy. It's amazing. So all in all, worth its free price tag. I wouldn't pay money for it necessarily. You have a year to download it from last Wednesday. It's worth doing. If you have problems upgrading, leave it for a while, and it will do it itself in its own time. So,
see, the thing that I slightly worry about with this is that it's lovely for Microsoft to give everybody a free operating system within reason. You know, if they've had Windows 7 or Windows 8, get a free operating system. But I've seen Kingsman.
See, I knew exactly where you were going with that because I watched Kingsman. And then the very next day they announced Windows 10. I was like, what? No.
Hey guys, let's give you this free stuff. The whole world? You're giving it to the whole world for free? Yeah, just, go with it. We don't need to make money.
Well, that's where they've gone really slightly off the rails. But if you had and used Windows 8 and 8.1 a lot, you had the Microsoft Store, which is full of really wonderful apps that really don't do your machine any good at all. And they cost money.
Let's be honest. Prince, we can blame Prince for this. If he hadn't started this by giving away one of his albums for free all those years ago,
we'd still be paying for everything.
they'd have never got this idea in the first place.
So what is? I mean, what is he called now? Is he called Prince? Is he the artist formerly known as Prince, or has he gone back to?
Squiggle.
Yeah.
just a what?
Oh, God knows. But yeah, it's odd. It's something that I'm looking forward to because Windows 7 is nice. I'd like an update. You know, a change is as good as a rest.
I think you'll see the biggest performance boost because you skipped what is essentially a rubbish operating system.
I did that for a reason. Because it's a rubbish operating system.
Yeah, because you didn't want to upgrade and it was rubbish. Yeah. But you'll see the biggest performance boost from 7 to 10.
No, that's good.
So when you get the chance, John, I do implore you to do it. Just do it.
Just do it. I will as soon as it comes through online because my main PC is a work PC. I can't really go gung ho into it at all. And got my little Windows 10 app, and he still says that the report on if my machine is suitable or not for Windows 10 still isn't available. So I'm going to wait until it rolls out to me officially, and then I'm going to go for it. So I can't be blamed for doing anything wrong.
Well, what you'll do is, and I recommend when it does become available, let it do it overnight because the next morning it'll be done. All you have to do is go through an initial setup, which is basically, are you willing to do this? Use recommended settings. Oh, look, you can log in now. Yay!
I'm done. And it copies all of your files across, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get the option to completely reinstall Windows, which is what I did. I erased everything, which was pants because it created a folder called windows.old, which was 211 gigs of data.
Ow.
I only have a 650 gig hard drive as my main drive. That was deleted quite rapidly because I was thinking it was going to just format the drive and it didn't. So now, it will create a folder depending on how much you've got on there. So expect if your current partition takes up most of your drive, expect it to continually take up most of your drive and just replace the Windows bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's Windows 10 and its Xbox integration, which is fantastic. And overall, it is a great operating system. There are some really cool features out there for it. Not everything is supported at the moment, so be wary of that. But most games will run if they run in Windows 8 and 8.1. Steam works fine. I've been playing some Steam games and they run fine. So overall, worth the upgrade, I believe.
Yeah, I can back up on the Steam front. That I've had no issues with Steam whatsoever.
It's good.
Well, they didn't want to get into hot water, did they? Do you see what I did there?
No, that's it. Where's that hang up button?
Come on, that was amazing. That was brilliant. Cheating hot water. Oh, never mind. Moving on. On our last podcast, Craig promised us something that I don't think he's worked on, so he's going to have to wing it slightly here. Because he promised us a walkthrough of his post-apocalypse currency, because apparently it ain't all about the bottle caps.
No. Well, we established last time that obviously ring pulls were your smallest denomination of currency, because I tend to find, maybe more so in England, now this might be different in other countries, but cans are a lot more commonplace than glass bottles with the bottle caps.
Yep.
So ring pulls are your small denomination currency.
So
because there's more of them.
Are you going with like 1 pence or 2 pence or 5 pence?
Well, this is just it. You can have you know how you can break the little tab off of the ring pulls, the little flat bit at the top.
Yep.
Well, that would be just the 1 pence.
Right.
A full ring pull would be worth 2.
Right.
And then 10 ring pulls will give you a bottle cap.
Right. I'm liking this.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much as far as I got. I'll be honest with you.
We're gonna go. If 10 ring pulls equals a bottle cap, then would we go 5 bottle caps equals say a £5 note?
Yeah. So you'd have to have something equivalent to that, which I guess would probably be. What would be the next thing up? I don't know, something commonplace in metal.
Something commonplace in metal. Still girder. No, wait.
I don't know. I've been camping. Leave me alone.
Oh, we've lost Pixel.
Oh, John's gone. John's gone. What do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do?
Can we carry on with the podcast?
Oh, hang on. Message from Pixel Central. Carry on. Back soon. Bloody internet. Can we say bloody?
I don't know.
It's past the watershed.
It's past the watershed. But this is a family podcast. Can we? Too late. We've already said it. There's nothing we can do.
One thing I did want to talk about, however, obviously last time on the podcast, I talked about a game called Skyforge. And unfortunately, I couldn't say much about it last time because it was a closed beta. And obviously, non-disclosure agreements. I had to be very careful with what I said, otherwise I'd get my wrist slapped. And I totally didn't send Keiran and John any discrete screenshots or anything like that. No.
I saw nothing. I saw nothing.
Nothing like that whatsoever. Honest gov.
No. Yep.
But now Skyforge has gone into open beta, so I can talk about it freely, and it looks like John's back.
Wait, Pixel Bandit has returned.
Thank you very much. I trust that you performed splendidly, and you've probably finished going over your post-apocalyptic currency by now.
I might have said bloody. Sorry.
We only repeated what you...
not too bad.
We only repeated what you said.
But no, I'm talking about Skyforge because I can now.
Yes. Tell me more.
Well, basically, and it's now in open beta. For those of you who didn't catch the last podcast, Skyforge is a new MMO, which I believe is going to be free to play. Now, it's one of these where you can put money into it to get different like
pay
classes.
Pay to win.
No, it's not a pay to win. It's a case of there are certain obviously different classes. But you only get a certain number of classes, and I think you can buy the additional classes. But it's quite interesting in the sense that it's science fantasy, I think is the commonly accepted term for it.
So would it go along the same lines as something like WildStar, which is the same concept?
Yes, very similar. So you've got your high technology, you've got spaceships, you've got different planets, but everything seems to be like the technology is fueled by magical means.
Right.
And your character is a resurrected god, essentially.
Okay.
And you choose your class, and you put experience into your class. Or you gain experience points, and then you choose which class you want to put your experience into, because you can swap class at will.
That's pretty clever.
Which is the interesting selling point of Skyforge, is that you can be anything. Any of these classes in the game, you can freely swap out between them. So it's a case of, if you're going into a dungeon and say you're short a healer, one of you can just go, I'm a healer now.
That's pretty clever, especially in a dungeon, because a lot of traditional MMOs, once you've selected, say, your tank class and you've queued for said dungeon, that's it, you're locked. You can't change your class. So that's very clever. I like that mechanic.
And you can do it on the fly as well. So if you get like halfway through your dungeon and all of a sudden, like, say the tank disconnects.
Yeah.
One of the DPS guys could just be like, oh, well, hang on, push a button, I'm the tank now.
That's awesome. I like this idea, and I might actually download or try and get into the open beta and give it a good test.
It's a multi-purpose MMO. It's completely free-form. I've personally found it really enjoyable as the closed beta. I haven't yet tried the open beta, but I did take part in the last stress test that they did. And the servers held up pretty well. Graphics are beautiful. And the combat is, again, quite interesting. They've done it a little bit different in that they worked on a combo system.
Right.
Where, obviously, rather than just go click, 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 button, button, click, click, depending on when you push a button or when you put the click. It's a case of it will change what move you do.
Right.
So again, there's a bit of variety in the playstyle there.
Yeah. So it's got a traditional MMO style in its own sort of way, with a mix of what MMOs could now become.
Yeah.
Which is I like the idea of being able to change on the fly in, like you say, in dungeons or trials, or changing your class and going, right, okay, so the tank has disappeared, he's being completely useless. I'll tank, you guys DPS, we've got a healer that's pretty decent.
I think this is the whole purpose. It's a case of, regardless of whether this is a successful game or not, it's a challenging game. It's a new MMO that's coming into the scene and is saying, this is what we can do.
Yeah. This is what may be done in the future, and it might set a whole new precedent for... I obviously play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV online. Don't get me started. We're going back again. but
yeah,
you could
Skyforge,
see... That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Skyforge is a lot of fun, and like I said, it's in open beta at the minute, so you can probably get involved early. There is what's called a founders package, so you can put money in to get it on the release, and you know the drill.
Yeah, know the drill.
But it's a lot of fun. It's obviously you can search Skyforge. I believe it's MyCom that are doing it, or My.com are the developers.
Yeah.
So yeah, find it through there, and but unfortunately, I don't think you'll get the funky little badge on your account that says that you were an official closed beta tester, like I've got.
Just dust off your shoulders in a different room, please. I have plenty of closed beta icons around the place.
I haven't got one. Not one. I'm a console gamer.
I have closed beta console gamer icons. I have an Uncharted one. Uncharted 3, I played the multiplayer beta, and it was only like a year after they released the game completely, I got an icon. I was like, it's only a little bit late, but I'll take it.
So on the subject of what we've been playing lately, Keiran, apart from Final Fantasy XIV, not A Realm Reborn anymore, just Final Fantasy XIV. Is there anything that you've been doing?
I picked up ESO, or Elder Scrolls Online, on PS4. I got the Imperial Edition, cheap as chips, at my local game store. And I've been trying to get the hang of that, and it's a little bit hit and miss at the moment of me trying to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing in the game. And the beta was much the same when I played that, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was a bit lackluster, but I thought for the price I paid and for what I got for the price, I couldn't argue. So yeah, I've been playing that, and Call of Duty, obviously, with you guys on Xbox.
Yeah, we do a fair bit.
And that's pretty much it for me. I think it's not. I've not had time to play much, so where I'm all alone in the house and I'm having to do housework and people want to see me or I want to go see them, it's like I'll go out and not be sociable with anybody else on the internet.
See, I can't be social. For me, working from home, I don't get out too much. I have met up with a few other guys actually this weekend. Thankfully, the wife let me out. Went out for a drink. She's good like that. Went out for a drink on Saturday with a couple of new chums who both work in IT as well. So that was quite nice. But most of our socialising really gets done over the internet or over Xbox, because the friends that we do have,
they're all there.
Yeah, they've been scattered. Maybe we're around the country, around the globe in some cases, but it brings everybody together, which is nice. But
yeah,
I've mostly been doing a lot of Facebook work and playing Elite Dangerous an awful lot still.
Did somebody forget to mention Final Fantasy VII?
I have played a bit of Final Fantasy VII, but I've been doing an awful lot of Elite. and even created a little Pixel Bandits clan on there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I need to. Oh no, I can't join you because you're on Xbox and I'm on PC.
No, we need PC gamers to join the clan as well. Join us on Facebook. You don't have to be on Xbox.
Fantastic, yeah.
Facebook.com/groups/PBSFX. The Pixel Bandits Security Force. We're not pirates. We are the security force for the galaxy. For our little corner of the galaxy, anyway.
Right.
So we're bounty hunters. We also offer escort missions to traders. In Elite Dangerous, if you are in a wing with somebody, if they trade in some goods and you're in a wing in that system, you will get 5% of the value. So you do earn money.
Oh,
from
nice.
it. So you can, have one trader who's selling a million credits worth of stuff, and if you're in a wing in that system and you've gone to protect him, when he sells it, you will get maths. Was that 50,000?
If you try to work it out, it's
something.
Something like that.
I believe mathematically speaking, you get some.
You do get some. More than a little, less than a lot. But it's good, and we're also I know there's already the fuel rats on Elite, mainly on the PC, but we are doing a kind of fuel rats kind of service if people do say anything. Because one thing that you can do in Elite Dangerous is break down because you've run out of fuel, and the only option there really is to blow yourself up, or the other option is to sit there until you run out of oxygen. So blowing yourself up does. When blowing yourself up's the attractive choice, you can ask people to come and deliver you some fuel, which is all nice and good. But yeah, Facebook.com/group/PBSFX. The Pixel Bandits Security Force. We've got some snazzy videos on YouTube actually for our recruitment. I'll put
and probably stick that in the description when this is an actual video as well.
Yeah, when it's properly done, I'll get some stuff down there. But it's jolly good fun. I've been doing a lot of kind of hard work pulling it together. But our little group, our little police force, has got coming up to 50 members now, so it's not too bad.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
I'll have to join that.
It is. We're trying to get more PC people because we've got a lot of Xbox, because it started from a group on Facebook which I joined just to talk about the Xbox One version of Elite Dangerous, which is in preview mode still. There are big announcements apparently coming at Gamescom, which is starting tomorrow/today technically, now that it's Tuesday.
God,
blimey.
So we're hoping that they're either adding planetary landings, which they said they'd be doing, or even just the ability to get up and walk around your own ship. Because when you start off small in the Sidewinder, you've pretty much got the cockpit and a little bit here and there. But when you get up to the bigger ships, you're talking about something the size of a football stadium. And at the moment, literally all you see is the view out of the window. So it would be nice to walk around there a little bit. So that's all very exciting. A few people are a little bit disappointed with it at the moment. I don't know why, because it only cost us 25 quid on the Xbox. And we don't have to pay any more when it's fully released. And there is a lot that are going into the works, apparently.
Typical MNO, they just go, here's a big patch, like 20 gigs. Here's all your new content.
Well, there have been blind ships. We're getting CQC in the very near future, which is because obviously Elite is a huge game, 4 billion star systems and all that. Sorry, 400 billion star systems.
And the rest.
So, yeah, 720,000 years to view them all. Takes a while, but they're adding CQC, which is close quarters combat. So they're adding tiny, tiny ships, which will be, kind of fighter jet. Fighter jet style ships, and it's literally just a combat arena.
Wow.
So that would be quite nice, but goals and everything. It is a work in progress. It's very much a work in progress, but it's something that we're all enjoying and something that I would recommend, even though Keiran didn't like it that much.
No, I'm glad I didn't pay for it. Don't get me wrong. I love, aircraft games. So flying games. I went ham on Ace Combat on the PS3 and PSP. I think it was on Xbox as well. I forget which one. And I loved those games. I really did. But it's just the full. I don't know what it was. It's just really weird when you play something like Ace Combat and then go to a space flight. because it handles so differently. It's like, oh no, still moving. No, stop, just stop, please.
Oh right, gravity. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, like it doesn't compute. It's just weird, and I was trying to do the training mission, and it's like, look at these and shoot them. Tell me what the buttons are. You're there going, what's accelerate? What is turn? What is and then you start spinning, and it's just like, I give up.
It can be quite difficult to get into. They didn't give too much in the way of tutorials. My view on it is the fact that if they'd have tried to fit everything into a tutorial, you'd have been in there for about a month.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, we've launched a bit of a beginner's guide again on YouTube. More links in the comments below. Or in the info below, not comments. Why would I comment when I can edit the... Oh, never mind.
That's late.
So yeah, we've got episodes, I think 1 to 5 of a beginner's guide on controls and this and this and that and that. But yeah, you are right. It does just kind of shove you into there, going, right, well, you're on your own now.
Yeah, it just made me sick, and I love flight games in general. I could sit down and play Ace Combat for hours, and I did, and never in my life did I feel so ill.
Well, apparently there are quite a few people who have been getting motion sickness.
Yeah.
And they can't really play it that much.
No.
Because there is a lot of head movement that you'll notice whenever you make a move with your ship. Your pilot's view will move in the kind of corresponding direction, but as your actual head isn't moving, it gives you all sorts of motion sickness and some. But I don't have high enough brain function to get motion sickness. So it's okay.
But,
we'll move on quickly before we head off, because I think we've been doing this for almost an hour. Oh, go on, mate.
One last little what I've been playing.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I kind of spaffed a little bit about Skyforge, but there's a free game that's sort of cropped up on Steam at the moment, and I think you can get it just to download as well, not through Steam. That's called Card Hunters.
I've not seen this.
Card Hunters it's quite interesting. It's based on your tabletop role-playing games, a la Dungeons and Dragons, that sort of game.
I'm all ears.
And basically,
I'm invested. I'm invested.
It's completely free. So far, I've got my characters, I've got my party leveled up quite a fair bit, and I've not spent a single penny. So it's completely free. And basically, the way it is, you get your adventuring party, and you play through the different missions. It's all turn-based, but it's kind of like a deck-building game. Like, the equipment that you give to your characters determines the cards in their deck. And so then each turn, you'll get movement cards, you'll get different attacks, defense cards, armor, all based on the equipment that they've got. So it's a really interesting way. So it's a case of, if you're going up against, say, treants, or dryads, it's a case of, well, I'm going to want to give my wizard all of the fire equipment, so they've got all of these extra damaging spells. But it's just really interesting, and there's, as you're playing through the tutorial, there's a really sort of nerdy narrator who's kind of playing the dungeon master role, but it's got full online capability as well, so you can do co-op, or you can do, I think there's a versus mode in there as well. I've not really looked into the multiplayer that much, but there's definite co-op functionality on there, where I think you share the characters. And yeah, Card Hunters, check it out. It's a really fun little free-to-play dungeon explorer with the twist of being a card game as well.
I imagine it's quite easy on PC/laptop specs as well.
Yeah, it is. Also, John, you'll find this one quite interesting, I think. Magic the Gathering.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, the real cards.
Think that is Magic the Gathering.
Well, Magic the Gathering have just released their new core set, Magic Origins. Now, for the past few years, they've been doing the video games, the Jewels of the Planeswalkers video games.
Which have been relatively boring.
Yes. They've just done the new one to coincide with Magic Origins, and it's just called Magic Duels. Now, it follows pretty much the same sort of format as the Duels of the Planeswalkers games, but because they've not been doing so well, and because, as you say, they didn't have much in the way of engagement, Magic Duels has now been just completely released just for free. So if you want to pick up some Magic the Gathering digitally and play it for free, check out Magic Duels.
So it's the one thing that's kind of annoyed me about the Magic games, because they did the same, I think, with 2013 and maybe 2012, where they gave them free on Xbox as part of the games with gold.
Yes.
And as much as I do love Magic, I like playing with people online, and it's nice that you can kind of play against an AI opponent as well if you haven't got any friends to play Magic with, and you do like it because it does happen sometimes. But one thing that really annoyed me, I just thought they could have done more with it, because the view is just you with the table and you're putting cards down, which I could get by going to, one of the local Magic gatherings.
It is the real Magic experience, though.
But what I wanted with the video gaming side of it is, I put my cards down. Sure, yeah, put the cards down. But at least when you're say when your goblin is going off to fight a Sun Soldier, whatever, I can't remember what their names are now. But then surely it would. I always thought it would look nicer if you had a little animated goblin who would be going off, and they'd kind of stand on the cards and go at each other. I don't think it would take that much to program in.
No. So you play Magic, you want Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Yu-Gi-Oh.
I might just go back to Pokemon cards. I've got a deck around it somewhere. I don't know.
Mine's all in a folder somewhere. Pokemon cards.
Anyway, that's what we've been playing recently, and seeing as we're
tickets to the gun show.
Sorry, I forgot I was on.
Plus one
we need to go to the vet because these swans are sick. No. Moving on to things, because we're kind of getting to or past the hour mark. I haven't kept track really, but certainly it's getting late over here, as you can probably see by my very dark conservatory. Things we're looking forward to in the near future. Anybody got anything, or are we all still just waiting for Fallout 4?
Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Oh, and Call of Duty. Sorry.
Call of Duty, it'll be okay.
Oh, and Uncharted 4.
We can play online with you probably. We'll get it, but I still haven't completed the storyline 2, I think, yet. But one thing that I have done, I've been looking to Fallout 4 so much that I recently started playing Fallout 2. And I'll be honest, I haven't played Fallout 2 before, and it is a weird game.
It's weird and wonderful.
Properly weird.
You should try Tactics.
If I had to say one thing, if you do go out and try Fallout 2, and I would advise you do, it's a great bit of history and it is a good game, even though it's a bit weird. Get past the Temple of Trials, because that level is bullshit. It is horrible, but once you get past that, you'll get kind of a lot more of a Fallout-y feel from it. It's the horrible thing with Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games, where you've got that bit at the start which is really boring and it's drudgery and tedious, but as soon as you get out of whatever it is, as soon as you get out of the sewers or get out of the prison, as soon as you, in this case, get out of the Temple of Trials, the whole thing opens up and it does become a good game again.
You going to the Elder Scrolls and comparing it. I think the only Elder Scrolls game that I didn't think was truly boring was Skyrim. The beginning of that was like, hey, you're a prisoner and there's a dragon. Now you have to run for your life.
Yeah, that one changed it up quite a little bit, and it was quite refreshing. Than, we're gonna trudge here and we're gonna, look, there's a rat over there. Go take care of the rat, and I might give you another thing to do when we get there. And oh my God, the king's dead.
Wait, was that Oblivion?
Yes, I get them all confused now because I did do Morrowind, which again was an amazing game, but at the start was that the sewers was Oblivion.
Sewers was Oblivion because it's King Jean-Luc Picard.
Yep. Always remember that. Awesome.
What was Morrowind? What did you have to get out of in Morrowind?
Morrowind. I don't know.
You were on a.
I don't
Was it
remember.
no, that was Skyrim. You were on a cart at the beginning, and they were taking you to your death.
Yeah, that was
Um,
Skyrim.
Morrowind opening. I can't remember. If anybody knows, put it in the comments below, and we will feel suitably reverent toward the.
I never played Morrowind. I owned it. I bought it. Young teenage fresh-faced Craig when I only had but a goatee. Um, I bought Morrowind, and it was a big deal because it was back when DVD-ROM games had just become a thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was on one disc.
And it was huge.
the glorious.
Yeah.
It was
Um,
huge.
but I bought it thinking, oh, this is going to be amazing. It looks fantastic. There's elves and there's goblins. It's going to be brilliant. My computer wouldn't run it.
Oh, sad face.
So I've never played Morrowind.
It was available on Xbox, just saying. Along
I
with the
didn't have an
expansion.
Xbox at the time.
Just
I only had a PS2 at the time, so.
Well, what you could do is in your infinite wisdom and not being able to play it, and then is you could buy the anthology and play them all through individually. Although that's probably several thousand hours of your life you'll never get back. But
Well, I've played a lot of Oblivion and I've played a lot of Skyrim, and it's a case of, is Morrowind worth going back for? Maybe we'll have to discuss that another time.
Possibly. I mean, like
Oh,
all Bethesda games. I'm not knocking you, Bethesda. I love you. I love you to bits. Your games are buggy. I'm just gonna say, your
Oh,
games are
Fallout New
buggy.
Vegas. Sorry.
Yeah, Fallout New Vegas totally kicked bottom in the buggy stakes. But even without the expansions, Morrowind was just absolutely huge.
I think that's what they pride themselves on, though, is having a world that is immersive. So you can spend hours hunting around, one dungeon or two dungeons and not getting bored and killing skeletons and I don't know, fire ants if you're so in. You fire ants, go away! I'm not interested. You're burning my stuff. Leave me alone. No, that sound haunts me to this very day.
Almost as much as get away.
Get away.
But yeah, apart from Fallout, is there anything else that we are looking forward to?
I'm still I'm still salty about Silent Hills.
I would never let this go. So.
There was. I don't know. I think I'm still in the limbo of not having a new gen console.
I think the unfortunate thing is when you do get one, you're gonna get a PS4. So
that's a good choice.
You see, the thing is, I've just got myself a new phone.
You can't afford a PS4 now.
I got myself the Sony Xperia Z3. It's a very nice phone, and it's got a nice little slot right there for the wireless charging stuff and for syncing up to the PS4 that I don't have.
What? Hold on. Does that bit sync up to a PS4?
Basically.
No, that's for the wireless charging docks.
What bit syncs up, or do you have to plug it in via USB?
But look at that! Look at that! There's a little PlayStation icon right there, ready and waiting, and I can't use it.
So I'll explain what this little port does before everybody goes, but well, they're not explaining it.
It's just I thought it was just a charging port, but is there data through there as well?
But basically, what it does is I don't have a PlayStation 4 controller up here with me, but you have a mount. I think it comes in the box. Or is it separate? I don't remember. I don't have one.
Yes.
That's
what that extra thing would be.
That's what the extra thing would be. Is a mount for your PlayStation 4 controller. This is where it gets interesting. That port is a charging port, and there may be some extra thing that it does when you connect it to the controller. And you sync the controller to your phone, which then is connected to your PS4 via remote play. And you can take your PlayStation 4 controller on the bus and look like a complete douche and play video games. That is
this is actually really useful to me because when I was looking through the box for my phone, I was like, "What is this? What is this bit? I don't what."
This is a bit of plastic. It's useless. In the bin.
So one thing I did notice, we were around a friend's house. I did play on a PS4. The controller isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was okay. Certainly, it was really good for playing Tekken and things like that. But the one thing
you
I had...
played Tekken without me.
I did. I'm sorry. I didn't win any games. Don't worry. My friend Dorian is incredibly good at Tekken games. Although I didn't do too badly. I played as Boxer Steve and I almost took him. But anyway, they had a phone plugged into it to mostly to charge, and it was like ours, a Sony. I've got the Z1 Compact, which is a fairly decent little kind of compact version, but is still really good. But one thing I had noticed is that whenever their phone got a notification, the PS4 gameplay, even offline, just completely froze.
Really? Well, that's interesting.
I'm confused as to why. Because
I'm not sure. Every time they got a notification on their phone, there was probably about a 2-3 second gap where literally the game, we were playing Call of Duty Zombies on Advanced Warfare, playing it locally, just me and their son, and it got a notification, and that was it. It was just...
I'd imagine that there was something wrong with the PlayStation Network and not the console itself. I've experienced this stop, if you like, for this momentary pause, and a lot of the time it's where the PlayStation Network has been a bit choppy. Let's all agree that it has been choppy. Xbox has had its fair share.
I wouldn't know.
Unfortunately, your last gen, before the last gen, is suitable for offline play only. But yeah, it's been a bit choppy.
My Steam works fine.
Well, take your Steam elsewhere. But yeah, it's where the PlayStation Network has been a bit up and down, and the console actually gets confused, believe it or not, where it's having to connect, disconnect. So if you get a notification, because it's having to think about it, the servers aren't catching up, it freezes. Quick fix for that is actually to rebuild the database on the console, and that actually alleviates a lot of the speed and slowdown problems.
That sounds really complicated. I'm just...
If you ever had a PS3 that would like lock up because it's just slow, or ever knew anybody that did, there's a secret mode called Safe Mode, and I love Safe Mode because it's amazing. You basically hold the power button, and the PS3 beeps. Same with the PS4. When you hear a second beep, it'll go beep on, hold, beep twice, release. It then brings Safe Mode up, which you can use to debug, basically. It's developers or Sony's own mode for you now to use to fix. You can do all sorts of functions, from formatting the hard drive, ready to sell it, reinstalling the operating system, losing everything, rebuilding the database, restarting the console if it locks up, all sorts of functions. But rebuilding the database is almost like a defrag.
Okay.
I don't believe the Xbox has a mode like it.
Doesn't need one, mate. Doesn't need one. It really needs one. It really needs one.
Sorry, what was that? I hear fairies and then dying.
I'm sorry.
You're full of rubbish, John.
Although, as touch wood, our Xbox has kind of settled down a little bit now. But I'm glad I'm not on preview.
Mine's fine. Anyway, mine's absolutely fine. I've got no problems with my Xbox 360.
It's not connected to the internet.
360 fine. I haven't turned it on for a little while now.
What, 6 years?
I think the last time I turned it on, I played Thief, and I think that was possibly the reason I haven't turned it on again since.
Boo.
Because I was really looking forward to Thief, and then it turned out to be rubbish.
See, I like it, but I'm a big fan of the original Thief games.
See, I loved the originals, and what I did like about the new one is there are a lot of times when I was playing it where I thought, oh, you know what, this feels exactly like the old Thief felt. Just little bits like hiding in shadows as guards walk past, and it was all kind of very similar. And it did. I've got a lot of nostalgia for playing Thief back in the middle of the country with my friend Louis when we were about 12 or something stupid. And I loved it at the time, but it was just so clunky and so linear with the 360 version that I just couldn't get on with it.
I think it was the same version regardless of what you bought it on, because I bought it on PS4 shortly after I got my console, and again, it was very linear. It looked pretty. It looked really well. No, it didn't have any screen tear or lagginess, or the controls didn't feel irresponsive or anything like that. But the story didn't make sense. I think that's where they failed miserably. It was like, you have this ability. Why have I got this ability? Why can I see things that I shouldn't be able to see for no reason?
Because magic.
But yeah, because let's throw it in there as an afterthought. Magic-wise, yes, quite. But
you need a proper sandbox for a game like Thief. You need to just go anywhere, do anything.
That's what I wanted, is the sandbox effect without the ability. Go away! You ruined the experience.
Detective mode, kids love it.
Because Batman. Don't diss Batman, because he has detective mode. He needs it. Think about it.
Not on PC. On PC, you can't turn it on.
What do you mean, Batman detective mode on PC? I used to be able to turn it on PC.
Yeah, I was joking, because the PC version was so utterly pants.
It wasn't that bad.
It was awful.
It was
recalled.
It was bad enough to take off.
Yeah, it was bad enough to take off, but it wasn't. I mean, I can't see. Yeah, I'm not even going to go down that road. I didn't buy it on PC.
I think before we get into the realms of rambling,
yeah, it is probably time to call it a night there. Very much so. I will say very much thank you to anybody who's stuck with us, either on the live stream or anybody who's sat down and watched the video at a later date, because obviously I will be tweeting about it tomorrow and for time to come until you bloody watch it. So thank you for watching.
Oh, he said bloody. We're okay saying bloody.
We're okay saying bloody. Bloody's okay.
Bloody's okay.
I will also say thank you very much to Keiran for joining me.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you guys for watching.
And I will also say thank you very much to Craig and his wonderful beard.
Thank you very much. It took a lot of time and effort to get this, and it's always fun chatting with you guys. And I haven't played many games recently because I've been really busy, but I'll make sure I play lots of games next time.
Get on it, man. You're a gamer. Sort it out.
Hopefully we'll be back a little earlier than...
I'm not sure we could do longer.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we're at midnight on a Tuesday.
The gap between hopefully shall not be quite as long. We might have some new people joining, but I think Google Hangouts has worked fairly well, so thank you, Google.
Google, I don't like you, but you have done well this time round.
It was my internet connection that let us down.
You're
not Google. So also hopefully for next time we're doing a live one. Fingers crossed it'll be a little bit earlier in the day, and we'll also get the Q&A section of Google Hangout, so you can feel free to come and bombard us with silly questions.
Ooh.
That would be interesting. I want to actually see what people want to throw at us.
Do you like willies?
Rotten tomatoes.
Hey, anyway, be grilled. No.
Chaps, thank you both very much for joining me, and we shall see you all soon.
Yep.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye, folks.